The United States will bomb Venezuela in just a few hours. They will extract Nicolas Maduro from the country, and the vast majority of our local commentators, not all of them, luckily, but a lot of people suddenly look at Russia and China absolutely stunned. Like, and Russia, what? And the air defense of the Russian Federation? Where is it considered high treason by the Russian Federation? China has sold Wagner to Venezuela, but it's not really clear where it is. I'm Liu Sivaya, a geopolitical analyst and war correspondent in Donbass. I'm going to give you the opinion of a military and geopolitical analyst, and I'm going to tell you what absolutely no one else will tell you about the issue of Russia, China, and Venezuela. We've already asked the relevant questions about what's happened so far, and we've done so countless times on this very channel. And you have videos entirely dedicated to the key questions about the issue of Nicolas Maduro's removal, about why, what has happened in Venezuela, what are the consequences going to be. But now let's get to what really pisses me off. Very personally, it turns out I'm Russian. It turns out I'm an analyst who primarily focuses on issues related to the Russian Federation. So what really surprises me is that in all these American attacks that you're seeing right now on your screen, people, seeing clearly that there is practically no response from the Venezuelan government or the Venezuelan army. Look at other countries. I honestly wouldn't care if it were Russia, China, or any other country. Analyzing the world as these are the good guys and those are the bad guys more than choosing a side because they're good. That might be true to a degree. China and Russia are the good guys to the extent that by defending their interests, what they are defending is indeed a multipolar world order. Fairer because they defend the sovereignty of each country and each state, and that it is the people of each state who freely decide what happens with that state and, of course, with the resources within it. They support the opposite of what the United States, which is involved in Venezuela, supports. We're deeply involved, and Donald Trump has already commented. We're going to control the Venezuelan issue, and we're going to do whatever we want in Venezuela. And we're going to impose a government that we think is right, because we can't allow Nicolas Maduro's followers to be controlling absolutely anything in Venezuela right now. But we're mentioning here the Russian Federation. Exactly for what reason? And since we're already mentioning the Russian Federation, my first question is, what exactly should Russia do to support Venezuela? Russia, China, India, or other countries? Well, mainly Russia and China, since they are the ones that have had the strongest historical ties with the Venezuelan government. What are they supposed to do? Drop a nuclear bomb on Washington and start World War III? They have to pick up the phone and call Donald Trump, make a fool of themselves internationally, and say, "Hey, Donald, please stop what you're doing in Venezuela." Does Russia really have to get involved in this matter beyond what they're already involved in? Because on top of that, I find what's being said about the Russian Federation right now to be extremely unfair because it's actually very specific. China has been very helpful, and recently the Russian Federation has sent air defense systems to Venezuela. And this, I don't know if anyone has heard about this or not, but I'll reveal it now. Air defense, which in Venezuela wasn't even in damn service. Turns out those who waved the little flag first said, "Let's go with Russia," then said Russia again. Fucking traitors. Russian air defense is fucking garbage and doesn't work at all. Well, they forgot to check what condition it was actually in. And it was almost like there was a Venezuelan soldier there eating a donut next to an air defense system. The one that was delivered during Chavez's time doesn't even seem to be active right now. And what about the new one that the Russian Federation just delivered? The S-300s. Well, I still don't know if they've figured out the instructions in Venezuela or what the heck actually happened. That's exactly why, obviously, because I don't believe for a second that the Venezuelan state is a crappy state, that in Venezuela the army doesn't do its job, not even close. This, from my point of view, has been agreed upon from the beginning from Venezuela itself. And I don't care if it was Maduro himself or if it was Maduro's closest circle. But this can't be a coincidence. But going to the question, because this one is now one of the most interesting, what exactly has happened with the Russian Federation And what has the Russian Federation done? Special operations forces, which are not the same as special forces, are two different things. The special operations forces of the Russian Federation have been in Venezuela for practically 10 years here. Is there anyone clever enough to say that basically in Venezuela they're just doing cross-stitch? But I can assure you that they have nothing to do with the reality in Venezuela. Special operations, I repeat, no. Special forces from the Russian Federation have been training the Venezuelan army, have been training Venezuelan commanders, have been preparing the possible option of the Venezuelan guerrilla because they are especially good at this. A soldier in general from the special forces, now, yes, that's right. Also, not just special operations. Special forces also have the basic mission in their code of ethics. Let's call it that. That if you can't accomplish the assigned objective and you're behind the zero line, meaning behind the line of contact, that is in enemy territory, you have to put up some resistance, which means you have to organize the guerrilla to operate and effectively confront your enemy. Is this exactly what the Russian Federation has been teaching in Venezuela? Russia, of course, has sent weapons. Russia, of course, has helped Venezuela clarify the oil issue, to extract the oil that was so needed on many occasions. It has also done this in very close collaboration with China. I mean, China, of course, has also acted to help Venezuela, but this has already been seen since the time of Syria. And it's been getting on my nerves since back then. And I'm going to say it very clearly. Vladimir Putin already said it, and I'm just going to repeat his words. We Russians won't be more Syrian than Syrians or more Venezuelan than Venezuelans. If anyone thinks that Russia has to take its military contingent and go to Venezuela, especially now in the middle of the special operation in Ukraine, whoever is making comparisons between what happened in the United States and Venezuela, that's a whole other 3-hour video topic. And what is happening between Russia and Ukraine, that's another story. No, it hasn't been done from the Russian Federation because they neither want to nor can do it. Russia is not the United States, and not because Russia has less military power. What is happening? Ukraine? That's what Russia has been waiting for since 2014, for those damn Minsk agreements to be fulfilled, while the civilian population was literally being killed and absolutely no one cared. But now the United States comes in like the damn bully on the playground, grabs the leader of a country and takes him out of the country in question. And off they go, just like that. And the European Union is there saying, we defend democracy in Venezuela. We stand with the people of Venezuela, acting like they're extremely concerned. Nobody cared. But damn, bully, just grabbing and going, and the European Union there saying, we defend, acting like they're extremely concerned. People also need to understand this. Asking, what exactly were the military doing misses the point. Damn, being on duty, the military doesn't work. Let's see if we're getting this clear. And I say this, I mean, really, forgive me if I sound too emotional, like I'm scolding you, forgive me. I'm just pissed off by the stupid opinions I see on social media. And what I'm seeing is that if I don't explain this clearly, no one else will. Military personnel serve, they don't work. Military personnel don't get vacations. Often they can't be part of unions. Military personnel can't take certain political actions. They're there to obey. Otherwise, this would be a mess and no one would understand. The lack of action in Venezuela is a political issue that must be addressed within the country. What the hell is wrong with people? Do people actually believe that while Russia is engaged in Ukraine, they would also offer their intelligence services to Venezuela? That they have to stay up at 2 in the morning watching the Venezuelan skies to see if someone comes to extract Nicolas Maduro? What the hell? And wait, because we're just about to get into the issue of the Wagner group, because people have been asking a lot about Wagner. First of all, in what is now the Russian Federation, They have practically disbanded completely because of what happened on June 24th. I think it was in 2022, if I'm not mistaken. 2022 or 2023, correct me if I'm wrong. Well, with this special military operation, I've already lost my memory today. In the medium term. So, are the Wagner still in Venezuela, the remaining Wagner members? Some remained in Belarus, while many went to Africa, because in exactly the same way, many have returned to the territory of the special military operation, and many are currently in Venezuelan territory. What are the Wagner forces doing there, and how are they coordinating with the special operations units? Meanwhile, the Special Operations Units, which report directly to the Ministry of Defense, are there primarily to train the Venezuelan army, to train the commanders of Venezuela first and foremost. And this is extremely important because in Venezuela, and the truth is, this is really an army that hasn't been in a real war or an active combat for a very long time. In Russia, they know this and they try to apply it and try to implement it as well. What is being attempted and has been attempted, especially since the special military operation, very much so. To be redundant, it's about taking the mid-level officers of the Venezuelan army and showing the commanders of Venezuela how things should be done. Because a good commander is worth I don't know how many hundreds of soldiers, and it's precisely this good commander who, on the ground, will make the whole damn army work for you. So this has become and been complemented effectively by the work of private military company Wagner and private military company Wagner. Not officially, since it doesn't exist as an official organization. But some of its structure operates at a high level. Here's the plan. Those who stayed behind, not in Africa, are in Venezuela controlling key points, but not actually guarding them. The Wagner guys, the Wagner guys go as instructors. The Wagner guys take over Maduro's guard. Careful, okay? Careful. I'm giving you the facts. The Wagner guys teach them how to work, can they? I'm not sure how much this has happened in Venezuela, but I assume it has. They take the presidential guard and teach them how they have to protect this absolutely key target, the most important one in a country, which is Nicolas Maduro. The Wagner Group effectively teaches these specific units within Venezuela how to protect key targets, that is, critical infrastructure targets. All these very specific points that are marked on the map and where very specific military personnel need to be deployed, often like a private militia or, as you know, a private security guard. The Wagner Group has also been doing their job, but the Wagner Group can't just stand there behind Nicolas Maduro, nor can the Russian Federation Army, and nobody wants to. But let's wake up once and for all, because we don't live in a world of they have also been doing, but it's Wagner acting like Nicolas Maduro wants to, that we don't live in a world also doing it. But it's just that those behind Nicolas Maduro don't even, but to wake up, we don't live in a world of, I've also been doing, but it's the Wagner Group Nicholas doesn't want to support. But to wake up from one, that we don't live in a world of, but to wake up a world of